it is, I mean, you're right, you know, and this is somehow perverse that nowadays the economics is having answer to all the questions. You know, even there is a theory of bureaucracy, there is a theory probably of poets. I mean, it's definitely, and this is this so-called, I don't know, we call this imperialistic thinking of taking economic model or methods and to adopt it to our world. And this, I agree totally, you know, there should be some borders. I mean, there should be some limits. But my question still, however, is, you know, business culture. Is there possible something like this, and maybe this is more question for the next speaker, you know, but is this possible something like European way of making business in a sense? What could be maybe the values of so-called that Europe could give to the world being within the world?
I don't know whether there's a European way of doing business, but there certainly is an Irish way. But I'm not so sure. I mean, you know,
what is that?
There's a sense we can't have it both ways. You know, we can't say, you know, let's encourage diversity, and you know, and then at the same time go looking for, you know, the single thread. In a way, I think that if the diversity is our strength, which of course it is our strength, and our particular attempts to handle and to manage that particular house, that diversity. But it reminds me of the issue, and many colleagues who work in the educational world, that, you know, even within my own university at times, you find somebody talking about clients, and then somebody starts talking about customers, and you get this sinking feeling that they're actually talking about students, you know, and they're calling the students clients, and they're calling the students customers. Just because they paid 10 grand to be there, they're going to now get treated like a customer. And it betrays a fundamental lack of understanding about the very thing that we're talking about something that has to do with the spirit. Whatever way you define it, in humanism or in any faith system, it doesn't matter. But somehow or other, it has to do with the spirit, however you define that. And of course, you know, every second fairy tale will tell you that money doesn't make you happy. You know, so we got to 2007 and we're still saying that. We know that, like. We still want it, of course. And you'd rather be unhappy with money than unhappy without it. That's definitely true. But in an economics-led approach, of course, you know, we need to, and in a way it's the domain of the cultural population. You know, unless we explain, you know, unless we explain that there is something else, and human expression of tragedy and sorrow and joy across all cultures. There is no culture that doesn't have it. No culture doesn't have. No community doesn't have a culture of expressive arts. There never has been one. So somehow or other we have to remind people of something to do with the warmth of humanity. And of course the ultimate irony is that the economy is much more likely to flourish, of course, in that particular kind of context of individual personal balance. And none of us have it, but we're all looking for it. But if you actually, and the education system is about helping us find it, but if that actually was there in a greater extent, that's, as they say, a human resource.